You've tuned in to Just Black with Melody, and today we are talking citizenship in Burkina Faso. So apparently, a lot of people have been in the comments with so much to say. Don't just take it for my word, but hear from the very mouth of Dr. Arikana. Let's check this video out.
Why Burkina Faso? What is going home? It seems a fulfillment of what the great Marcus Garvey has started in that organization of UNIA. But tell us about it and why Burkina Faso.
Well, let me start by saying what is happening in Burkina Faso is a revolution that is way past due. What is happening in Niger and Mali is a revolution that is way past due. So why Burkina Faso? It is an obvious place that I think for him to have invited us to come to Burkina Faso and receive citizenships, it is just fitting, and it is the right country with the right leadership at this time. When you look at all the African leaders that we have today, President Traoré, he is thousands of miles apart from the rest of the African leaders. He is fearless. He is doing what should have been done decades ago when we attained our independence as African leaders, when our people need that wealth, as the leadership having been at education to fund our healthcare systems, to create jobs for our youth. It is the most ludicrous thing that could be happening in 2025. Why is that our leadership is not seeing how wrong this is? President Traoré, along with the president of Burkina Faso, of Mali and Niger, they have stood up and said enough is enough. So for those who choose to tarnish those three countries as the leadership having been attained through a coup, I want you to think again. The coups that took place in those three countries, do not compare them with what was orchestrated by France and other Western countries in the past. Those coups were intentionally done to overthrow those leaders who wanted to do something about what was going on wrongly in Africa. They wanted to right the wrong, and for that they paid a price of being either assassinated or being overthrown. The coups that took place in Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso, those are not coups. Those are revolutions where a young man, 36 years old, stood up and said, enough is enough. I am willing to sacrifice my life. I am willing to sacrifice everything I have in order to do what I can do, play my part in righting this wrong. President Traoré has sacrificed everything. He is leading in the manner that Africa should be led. We need more leaders like President Traoré. So when you ask me why Burkina Faso, is for the obvious reason. Last year, I took a group of 150 diaspora to Burkina Faso. We started with over double that number. But many were told, do not go to Burkina Faso, it's a war-torn country. Yeah. Many were told Burkina Faso was a dangerous place to be. But we knew better. Nobody tells the Western world not to go to their countries of origin. There are many atrocities being committed in those countries, but nobody's telling people not to go there. We also felt, therefore, no one should tell us not to go to any African country, particularly Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali. They have been painted with such a horrible brush. We needed to go to Burkina Faso and let the people know that what you are being told is false. Couldn't be anywhere near closer to the truth. But we know those are the games that are played in order to keep our economies where they want them to be. They, and by they, I mean those who don't look like you and I, they're going to Burkina Faso in masses. They're doing business in Burkina Faso, but they don't want those who look like you and I to also go to Africa and benefit.
Yeah.
So what is our inheritance? So no, the question should not be why Burkina Faso. The question should be why not Burkina Faso? Because in Burkina Faso, the revolution that's going to change Africa, that is the epicenter of that revolution. And we as Black people in Africa and around the world, we have a responsibility to support President Ibrahim Traoré. We have a responsibility to let him know that he has over 300 million army of African diaspora behind him, in front of him, besides him. We are surrounding him with the support and love that he needs to continue to lead us to the promised land. That is why Burkina Faso.
What a beautiful thing when many voices are saying the same exact thing. So many people were in the comments accusing us here at the channel of lying, saying that President Ibrahim Traoré did not invite the diaspora back home and they did not hear it from his mouth. But Dr. Arikana has personally traveled to Burkina Faso, which you guys witnessed her say in the video, and she had the opportunity to sit under the voice. Can I repeat that? I said sit under the voice of President Ibrahim Traoré. How powerful is that? She was able to hear the information straight from the horse's mouth. And he has appointed her and her organization to put together a plan to help welcome the diaspora back to Burkina Faso. And I want to give a special thank you to Nana Kwa for providing me with that content and shutting down these rumors about it being fake news. No, it's very real. And Burkina Faso is indeed welcoming all of the diaspora back home. Now, it may be a little questionable, and I can kind of understand why, because it's not something that was so widely broadcasted like mainstream media would normally be. But I feel that was all for a reason, because not everybody is meant to go to Burkina Faso, and the door is not open for everybody, but for a select few. And those few that belong there, those few that are coming to Burkina Faso to help build up the nation, to help build up the country, that is the ones who is going to get this message, and that is the one who is going to hop on board with citizenship. And that's what we want. We want to see people who are ready, willing, and able to come to Burkina Faso and make your investments, bring your intelligence, bring your resources, bring your ideas. Burkina Faso is literally your canvas, and you can paint whatever picture you desire. And Dr. Arikana said it best. She said that she wants President Ibrahim Traoré to know that we are standing behind him, and we are. As a people, as a nation, we've seen so many different countries in Africa, even extended all the way to the USA, standing up and rallying behind President Ibrahim Traoré. He really has the support of Africa, not just the support of Africa, but the support of the world. There's so many different countries and people that are behind President Ibrahim Traoré that truly believe in the mission that he is on. And in this lifetime, your help will always be sent when you're on the right path. So I've said it in my last video, and I'm going to say it yet again. It is important that we not let all of the work of President Ibrahim Traoré go in vain, but that we step up and stand behind him and show our support. But in this moment, one of the major ways that you can show your support for Burkina Faso is by getting on board with the citizenship, becoming a citizen, and helping to build up the country. He has said it already, it is that he can't do it alone, and he needs the help of us all. The Western countries really did a number on Burkina Faso, and now we literally have to start from ground up. But it's not too much, because those who are supposed to come to Burkina Faso will also be very equipped for the mission, and they also will be prepared for the experience in Burkina Faso. Now, me personally, I've never gone to Burkina Faso, but it is a place that I intend to visit very, very soon, and I think that is very necessary. We need to know what story Burkina Faso has to tell. We've heard the story from Western media, and it's quite funny that now they're very silent now that so many people are rallying behind President Ibrahim Traoré. But they have been very vocal about trying to tear not only Burkina Faso down, but President Ibrahim Traoré himself. And of course they would, because he represents Burkina Faso. So if they tear him down, that means that they ultimately get to tear Burkina Faso down. But we're not allowing that. We're standing up, we're standing strong, and we want you to know, President Ibrahim Traoré, that we are standing beside you. As we would say in America, we got your back. But I totally get why I have been getting so much hate comments here on the channel when it comes to Burkina Faso, because the Western countries don't want to see this happen. They don't want to lose money. They don't want to lose the hold that they have had on Burkina Faso. So I wouldn't even be surprised if they paid people to come to the channel and make such claims and allegations against what is happening in Burkina Faso. But it's all good because they will never tear us down. Burkina Faso is moving ahead, and it's moving ahead very strong. And with the diaspora behind Burkina Faso, it's going to help further the advances of Burkina Faso so much quicker. And I always say that they will forever try to use us against us. They have done it since slavery, and what makes today in 2025 be different? Because if this is something that has worked back then, in their mind, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So if they were able to use us against each other back then of course that's going to be their main tactic today. And that's why it's so imperative that we as African Americans, we as Black individuals, we as Black people all over the world start to think differently. And I see a lot of us waking up. I see a lot of us with a different mentality coming forward and saying enough is enough. And I have been hearing the same message across many channels. Enough is enough. We are at a point as Black people where we are just fed up. We have stood by while they plundered us time and time again. We have stood by while they sold us off. We have stood by while we worked for free to build up their countries. We have stood by time and time and time again throughout history. No more standing by. It's time to stand up. Of course, they're going to be big mad that we are actually standing up in Africa with one voice and also in unity. And do you know how powerful that is? And do you know how very afraid they are all at the same time? It is time for Africa to rise. To me, in this moment, it's kind of like a strategic board game, right? Where you're putting all the players in place. You're setting all the people in their prospective place and where they should be and what tasks they should be carrying out in their prospective places. And I feel like that is exactly what is happening right now. We have Black people all over the world with different talents, different skills, different abilities, and we are being meticulously orchestrated in our prospective places to play our intended role in this moment. And it's something that is beyond the control of anyone. It's beyond the control of the US, it's beyond the control of France, it's beyond the control of anyone else that still desires to see Africa suppressed. Mama Africa is speaking up, and she is speaking up with vengeance. She's speaking up like the roar of the ocean, and she's coming back to claim everything that was taken from her. And do you think that there is a soul in this universe that is going to stop her mission? And I have been waiting for this moment for so long. I received this revelation years ago. I would say probably like in 2012 that this would happen, that Africa would rise, that things would start to turn around for the continent. And I almost started to think I was crazy because I seen this revelation so long ago, and fast forward to so many years later, and I'm like, am I going crazy? Because I know that I heard this, but I don't see nothing happening. It seems like Africa is still being plundered. It seems like everybody is still moving into Africa and taking whatever piece of the pie they want with no repercussions. But to see things starting to turn around, it's almost like mind-blowing that what I seen so long ago is actually starting to be manifested right now. And it just happened so quickly. I didn't even have a chance to even get a clear understanding of what was going on. I just looked up and realized, wow, this all has just taken Africa by storm. It's time for our revolution. One of the ambassadors of Burkina Faso, Nana Kwanai, will be going live at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. During that time, we'll be taking all questions. We'll be diving more into detail about the specifics of how to become a citizen of Burkina Faso. We will also be talking about investment opportunities, as well as, is it safe? Because that is another big question and misconception that has been surfacing around the internet. So we're addressing all of this once and for all, and after that, we move forward to accomplish the mission. We will also have French translators available. So if you are in a country that primarily speaks French and you really don't understand the English language that well, no need to worry because we got you covered. So I expect to see each and every one of you live 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You don't want to miss this move because it is going to be a powerful one. Mark my words. But that is it for today's video. Drop a comment down below and let me know what your thoughts are on this topic. If this is your first time here on the channel, let me take this opportunity to say welcome. And also, please take a moment and hit that subscribe button before you go. We also now have a shop right here on YouTube, Sacred Minerals, or you can visit sacredminerals.org. And let me mention the fact that we now have membership levels. So please considering selecting a membership and helping to advance the mission of the channel. I thank you guys so much for being here with me yet again. And I will see y'all. Bye.